Putin News Now. Putin is targeting a fifth term in office. We have completed it. I appreciate you being here today. Click here for other election-related information. Additionally, you may find information regarding the Russian economy's recent outperformance of expectations and Putin's intense desire for a significant election victory in this article. Presented here is the day's events. Just a quick rundown of what happened on the first day of voting before we close this live page. As the nation's electorate swung across its 11 time zones, President Vladimir Putin looked set to cruise to a fifth term in office. Russian soldiers have invaded and occupied parts of Ukrainian provinces, although voting has also taken place there. Sunday at 8 p.m. local time marks the end of the three-day election, which is a first. Voting, according to officials, went off without a hitch, but 8 individuals were taken into custody for vandalizing polling places. The assaults on the Belgorod border region by Ukraine were allegedly an attempt to disrupt the election, according to the Kremlin. Election talks among young Russians, dear Sveta. Censorship forced Sveta to abandon her studies in history, cinema, and law, and she eventually became a lawyer. A continual feeling of fear describes me. Seeing the police now makes me afraid, the video editor told Al Jazeera. I try not to mention Ukraine or the phrase conflict if I encounter strangers on the street. I am too afraid to speak my mind. Revisiting the alleged attack in Kherson. In a Telegram post, the Electoral Commission for the Kherson area, which is under Russian control, confirmed that Ukrainian forces had attacked polling sites in the towns of Kakhovka and Brylivka. The attack had destroyed structures and wounded an undetermined number of persons, according to the report. Independent verification of the statement was not feasible. Russian youth have grown up with Vladimir Putin's increasingly anti-Western, patriarchal, and nationalistic narratives, and many of them have never known anything else. According to recent polls, among Russians of voting age, young people are the most unhappy with the existing political system and the most critical of Putin's reign. The stream on Al Jazeera talks to academics and activists to find out the views of Russia's Gen Z on the election. See the debate down below. TASS reports that election authorities stationed in the portion of Ukraine's Kherson area under Russian control have accused Ukrainian military of bombarding polling sites. Ukraine has not yet issued a statement. According to the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, the election campaign in regions partially controlled by Russia, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, and in Crimea, which Moscow annexed in 2014, is an additional example of Moscow's continued flagrant disregard for international law norms and principles. To share this on social media, click here. Arrests made in connection with vandalism at polling stations. Reports of vandalism at polling places on the first day of voting have led to the detention of 8 individuals by the police. We have already mentioned that a video surfaced showing a lady adding dye to a vote box. On suspicion of obstructing the exercise of election rights, investigators reportedly detained her. The independent Moscow news outlet Sota produced a video showing an elderly woman lighting a voting booth on fire and flooding a polling station with smoke. The woman was later caught by the authorities. Rostov, Voronezh, and Karakai-Cherkessia were the locations of 4 further arrests made for allegedly staining ballot boxes with dye, according to authorities. At the same time, election officials in the far-flung Khanty-Mansi region of Siberia reported that a woman had attempted to set fire to a vote box with a Molotov cocktail. Citing the regional government, the TASS news agency stated that a man attempted to detonate fireworks at a voting booth in the Chelyabinsk area, and police subsequently captured him. Local media in St. Petersburg and the annexation of the Crimean Peninsula also reported similar instances.